It is a critical matchup out west. Seaside, California, the side of this matchup. Two teams vying for a postseason berth and fighting to make their way up the Western Conference table square off as Los Dos, LA Galaxy 2 travel to Monterey Bay FC. Happy to have you with us on ESPN Plus. John Gross alongside Devin Kerr, and we will start things off by taking a look at the top 7 in the Western Conference. Now, these are the 7 teams as of now in the playoff spots, but Monterey Bay and Los Dos knocking on the door. Monterey Bay entered today in 11th place, just 5 points back of El Paso for 7th. Los Dos even closer. They're just 1 point back of that playoff line. They have a game in hand as well. Monterey Bay looking to qualify for the postseason for the first time, first year in club history. Well, they're coming off of a tough defeat, 2-0 against New Mexico.
I would say 2 out of 3, actually. They went 6 games unbeaten, 4-0-2, and then they ran into San Diego Loyal. Now they're going back on the road at Isotopes Park. It was a difficult one. It's not the same lab we've seen in previous seasons, but New Mexico United stout at home. They're hoping it's just one bump in the road for Monterey Bay and Frank Yallop, and they can get back to business against Los Dos. It's a different story for LA Galaxy, too. Now, they've got a new manager. Yohan Demay promoted to the assistant coach for the first team of LA Galaxy. Marcelo Sarva steps in. The last 6 games have been very difficult. -7 on the goal differential, 8 goals for, 15 goals conceded. This team has been leaking goals left and right, but there's still plenty of talent here for them to make a run come postseason time.
And Los Dos side that's conceded the 4th most goals this season in League One. But both of these teams, Devin, have had a lot of success as of late.
What I'm trying to signify here, these are the top 7 teams in terms of record over the last 10 games. Stay with me on that one. So, okay, San Diego Loyal, San Antonio, that's fine. But if you notice, there's no Colorado Springs. There's no New Mexico United. There's no El Paso Locomotive. What I'm getting at here is teams at the top, they're leaking points, and everybody from the bottom just slowly moving their way up. Most importantly, Monterey Bay, 3rd in the Western Conference over the last 10 games, 18 points. That's a quality stretch. With that points per game model, they will be able to squeak their way into that final playoff position at number 7.
Let's take a look at the Monterey Bay starting 11. Monterey Bay, of course, led by former Galaxy first-team head coach Frank Yallop. 2
changes here. James Murphy comes into Moby Fairweather in the midfield. Love that pairing between the two, their ability to dictate the tempo. And as they move forward, Simon Dawkins, you would have to imagine that he's going to pinch into the tent with Chase Boone, who we have not seen for quite some time. Picked up an injury. A magnificent start to the season. 6 goals and an assist through 15 outings. Now that he's available, you push him out on the left. Comfortable on the right as well, but as tempo goes forward, got to get Christian Valesky comfortable early to maintain that confidence throughout the 90 minutes. Los Dos, as we transition, traditional 4-4-2 for them. Eric Lopez comes into goal. Love the back line. Josh Draco get up and down the wing. He's good from set pieces. Veteran experience from Liam Doyle, the pairing next to the youngster Jalen Neal. But as you move into this front attacking unit, even though it's flat and there's 2 strikers, it's really a front 6. Cameron Dunbar can jump onto the front line. Adrian Gonzalez comfortable in that aspect. The only 2 things you're really going to see is Carlos Harvey will probably sit a little bit deeper than Remy Cabral, and Preston Judd will stay at the highest. Otherwise, this is a potent attack. Scored in 21 of 26 games, but they've got to solidify it on the back line if they want to make it into the top season and the playoffs.
3 critical points on the line tonight in Seaside, California. Kickoff coming up after this. Monterey Bay and LA Galaxy 2 next on ESPN Plus.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montrio, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
welcome you into Cardinale Stadium. We are set for action. It's Los Dos in the whites, Monterey Bay in the crisp and kelp. And away we go. Third and final meeting of this season between these clubs. First two in favor of Los Dos. 3-1 and 3-2 respectively, although this is the first matchup in Seaside, California. There's Gonzalez. Comes into a brick wall of James Murphy and cuffs it up. You look back at the first two times these two teams played, it was really the Preston Judd show. Had a hat trick in the 3-2 win over Monterey Bay in June. He scored in the 3-1 win earlier this year. He's been a critical piece of this club and someone that Frank Gallup said his side certainly has to keep a close eye on. This ball trickles out for a goal kick.
Fortunately enough for Preston Judd, LA Galaxy got their wits about them and finally signed him to a first-team contract earlier this season, although no reps for him just yet. He continues playing this way. I mean, the guy for me is one of the best, if not the best, in the entire championship.
In swinging corner, trickles to the back post, still danger, and it's bicycled out of there by Moby Fair. There's Frank Gallup, who was formerly the head coach of LA Galaxy's MLS squad. Now in year one of this Monterey Bay club, the inaugural head coach. Ball slips through the feet of Grant Robinson. A throw in for Los Dos. Looking to snap a 6-match winless streak, longest winless streak of the season. Fresh off of back-to-back draws against Charleston Battery and New Mexico. As Anthony Siaha comes out to scoop it. Siaha, somebody who Frank Gallup had a lot of praise for, and for good reason. He's been stellar. And now his 9th start of the season, a goals against average of just .38.
It's funny, every single week when I step in, I'm looking at the statistics and I have to do a double take to think that it's wrong, right? Because to your point, he's only given up 3 goals in 8 appearances this season, 5 shutouts to match. No games where things have kind of gotten in his way, and his journey's been interesting. We've addressed it in previous games, but you know, kind of bouncing around. The 1904 with the Nisa, San Diego Sockers. He was with Loyal last season. I'm sure that man right there, Marcelo Savas, formerly of the U19s for LA Galaxy in their academy program, now taking over the reins for Los Dos, had a good hard look at the film and how to beat the 6'6" goalkeeper coming into this match.
Do you think it's just a situation where Siaha finally has a chance to show what he can do?
That's one of it for sure. I would also say that, you know, the rumors about him not the greatest with his feet, I haven't seen that. You know, he's been pretty good. And in the modern day of the footballing world, so many coaches are asking so much more of goalkeepers, right? The distribution off the back line, playing with their feet.
Boone plays through, and Velasquez's attempt ricochets out for a goal kick.
I was with you on that one, by the way. That looked to me when he came back across his body that it came off a defender. But the whole idea behind it, whether it's coming from the goalkeeper, moving to the center back and quickly up through the middle, is to go to A to B to C as rapidly as possible. Los Dos, one of the best in the business at doing that.
Here's Judd, who has 4 goals this year against Monterey Bay. Trying to convert in a 5th, but it's his first time facing that man, Anthony Siaha. Like you said, Devin, 6'6". A major impediment in net.
the comfortability that Monterey Bay have exhibited on the ball, not just over the last 10, would make the argument really over the last half. So much better than the start to the season. Obviously being at home is great, but just a regular core group of players has allowed guys like Grant Robinson and Maury Donor to move higher into the attack. You'll see inversions. We've already seen movement by Chase Boone coming to this near side. How much emphasis does that put on the two center backs of Hugh Roberts and Kai Green in the matchup against Preston Judd? In theory, it's a 2v1, but I mentioned, Michael Salazar and Cameron Dunbar. Is Salazar going to stay high? Will Cameron Dunbar come in?
Here is the aforementioned Dunbar, slices inside the 18. Did not flick it on frame, no trouble for Siaha. Monterey Bay, fresh off that 2-0 loss against New Mexico, was one that Frank Gallup said that they were just a bit off in their game. Said they had a couple of chances in the first half, but really felt that was a fair result, a 2-0 loss.
The good news for them, and briefly addressed that already in the open, that, a blip in the road. There are plenty of teams around the USL Championship right now that are still trying to find an identity or rhythm. You don't have to make that argument for Monterey Bay anymore. 6 games unbeaten until the San Diego Loyal game. That was the 1-0 loss on the road, and they recovered quite nicely against Sacramento Republic 2 games back. Seems to be more in control, at least for the majority of their matches. And that's a stark difference than what we saw earlier this season. You could talk about the midfield play. Guys like Moby Fair and James Murphy. The ability to move side to side, the vertical stretching that you've now gotten out of Christian Valesky. Now the fact that you add Chase Boone back into the mix. Veteran leadership like Roberts and Green on the back line. Even with the upstart goalkeeper and Anthony Siaha, it's all sort of aligned within the stars for them to continue for this playoff push. In a perfect world, I find it hard pressed for them to not get into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
But it's the West, and the Western Conference, as I say every single week, is an absolute mess.
That is for sure, as Dunbar skies it ahead for Judd. Judd creates some separation and hops into the hands of Siaha. And you mentioned some of the struggles earlier in the year for Monterey Bay. Seems like they have found their stride, but even when they were losing, when they weren't getting the results they've been getting lately, Frank Gallup said that he was telling his guys we're not as bad as the standings say. He saw the traits all along with his team, and now the results are coming to fruition. Donor, space to work with. He'll loop it ahead. This one's on frame and sneaks just over the crossbar. Not quite sure if that was intended to be a shot. As we look back at the replay.
It's a little locker room bragging at halftime. Even if it doesn't go in right, something to talk about actually after the match, after you've completed your 3 points, because the idea is to peel this even further back. Christian Valesky all alone on the back post, but didn't get enough English on the ball to bring it back across the body. Just an interesting little tweak coming in. I mentioned that Sam Glito very comfortable moving to the interior. Didn't think that they would have him as the out-and-out number 10. And the way that they've aligned themselves, Chase Boone coming to the right side is nothing game-changing. Simon Dawkins to the left, certainly very normal. But Glito in that little pocket of space underneath Christian Valesky. The good news is he's got great vision and a ton of motor, so he will chase you all game long to try and close out some of these distribution balls coming off the back line, moving through the 6.
Little now in his 4th consecutive start, the former San Antonio and Reno 1868 man. Donor jockeys with Drac. Boone now. Cross in front. Spinning effort. Could not be put on frame. Pops out just outside the 18. A low blast from Fair. Did it take a deflection? It did not.
Having a little trouble with their shape. Lostos watches the ball, sprays back across here. It's a good recovery by Carlos Harvey. The problem is the space just up top. Nobody else is trailing with him. Remy Cabral spread out. Cameron Dunbar had shifted back over as well, but he was too wide, and so the recovery run couldn't come quick enough.
Lostos no trouble against that extended press. Left to hand by Cabral. No one there. Rolled through to Judd. Judd stops. Judd back heel to keep it in play. Judd, who has 4 goals this season in 2 matches against Monterey Bay, including a hat trick at all 3 of his side's goals and a 3-2 win against Monterey Bay back in June. Sitting on 29 career goals. Valesky. Sneaked out for a throw. Valesky trying to work centrally to Dawkins. Instead pops out to the left side. No attempt, pops out to James Murphy. Boone. Unable to find space. Lostos look to counter. Cabral, bases on, lovely ball for Judd. Siaha, his impact in full display right there.
What's the diagonal run from Preston Judd? This is beautiful. The timing that he possesses up top in this space. Remy Cabral, as he moves forward here, he starts to cut back to the inside. If Preston Judd stays on the right, the chances close down because it's already occupied by Hugh Roberts and the little pinch back over by Kai Green. Instead, the continuation run back across. Cabral comes to the interior, slides it over the left, creates an opportunity.
Donor on the other end. Donor low cross. Trickles through unscathed. As Marcelo Sarvas, his first match as head man, he was just announced yesterday after formally serving as the U19 leader. Long blast off to the right and a goal kick on the way. Good look at James Murphy, who did not play against New Mexico. And tied for the team lead in assists.
The great thing this season about the evolution of James Murphy is the understanding within the central ranks that it's okay for him to take these progressions moving forward. A guy who primarily operates within the 6 or 8 type spot, but he's been asked multiple times this season by Frank Yallop to do more, to provide that extension within the midfield, play within the 10, pop up on the presses, work alongside Christian Valesky. You know, can also be Adrian Rebelar, who's been up there. You know, you rotate some of the other strikers, Jason Johnson, Sekou Kone. Such a great job defensively of pushing forward and helping them out here. But the key is to get them on the ball. And when you pair him up next to someone like Moby Fair, they work in tandem together so well. That little side-by-side duo, when to drop off that 3 or 5 yards, when you can make that little step coming forward, get up next to Sam Gleedle and help out. You watch right now, the little press coming right through the middle. They're not letting Carlos Harvey, Remy Cabral, whoever rotates into those central locations, even Owen Lamb getting involved, rotating off the back line. They're not letting him get in any touches, makes it that much more difficult to play out of the back.
Drac, who had a goal last week, trying to work it ahead to Cabral, out of his reach. Drac takes some contact from Boone, who had missed 6 matches before entering as a substitute against New Mexico. Press results in a turnover. It's Dawkins. Murphy now. Dawkins stays on it. Dawkins jockeying. Dawkins a blast. And sprays it wide right.
Almost when playing it out of the back goes wrong. Trying to move on that right-hand side. Owen Lamb and Adrian Gonzalez just not in sync with each other. I'll tell you what, though. Even the two opportunities that have come of it, can we explain why we're putting the ball in the ride share a lot? Nobody's been able to hit the target, have they?
Nope, really not even close. Boone looking to change that, thought about it. Instead leaves it for Donor now. Donor, low cross. Boone was right there and let it pass through. Donor, whose lone goal this year came against Los Dos. Leaves it well heavy and out for a Galaxy 2 throw-in. Five shots for Monterey Bay, none on target. That was an issue for them against New Mexico. They dominated possession, but finished the match without a single shot on frame. Looking to change that as Boone races ahead, and it's all in by Lopez. Harvey now, leaves it for Cabral. Drac receives it right back. Quick tap ahead. Low roll for Dunbar. Siaha boots it clear. Valesky able to tap it ahead. Gleedle with space. Leaves it back for Boone. Gleedle centrally. Ball played through. And a shot on target, something they could not do against New Mexico. So progress for Monterey Bay, but not very threatening for Murphy.
Do like the fact on the back end of this, though, they don't rush it, right? You would have liked the extension to continue forward there from Sam Gleedle, but recognized quite rapidly that he didn't have the speed to burn into the open space. So what does he do? Steps on it, recognizes the sport is going to come. And it's beautiful on the backside. Very unselfish by Christian Valesky. Not the best of efforts, but challenging Eric Lopez nonetheless.
An important fixture for these two sides, both fighting for potential playoff spots out west, like Galaxy 2, and one final season in USL Championship before joining MLS Next Pro. Monterey Bay in year one in USL Championship. Murphy sprays it for Dawkins. Dawkins, Gleedle shovels it wide. Options inside the 18. Low cross. No trouble for Los Dos. Murphy. Lovely ball left. And put wide.
As they continue forward here, the runs, Carlos Harvey and Adrian Gonzalez got to have a conversation with each other right as he's at the top of the 18 there, as he pinches out the little slide back over. Look at the trailing run by Chase Boone. If you can find a way to cut this ball back, the space is wide open right atop the penalty mark. Passing players side to side. Positionally, as they move forward, they're starting to find some nice little movements for Los Dos. The problem is as they work backward, the zonal marking not really helping them, is it?
Already 7 shots for Monterey Bay. Creating some opportunities with the open space they've been provided. Boone. To work it ahead. Drac has the interception. Plenty of space to work with for Cabral. With Judd on his right. Cabral takes it himself. Puts it just wide. A golden opportunity for Los Dos, but the Parisian midfielder cannot bury it.
Watch the recognition by Remy Cabral, though, as this ball comes up out of the air, the touch away. That's got to be better from Kai Green. Love his ability to step in, and notice he doesn't double back. This is what I was talking about coming in, how that front really 6 are so comfortable within those attacking movements. The 50-50 doesn't go his way, but it does jump to his teammate. He just continues to run forward because he knows that that ball's going to be sprayed through.
Plenty of attacking options up front for Marcelo Sarvas, who was announced as the head man just yesterday. Dawkins slips through, still on his foot, off the crossbar. And Boone now whistles for the takedown. Check that. It's a throw before that. Murphy trying to work quickly. How about Simon Dawkins nearly burying that from distance? Little. Dawkins. Dawkins back in club soccer after a 3-year absence. Formerly played under Frank Yallop with San Jose Earthquakes of MLS. He was on loan from Tottenham. Dawkins, one of a handful of Monterey Bay players that played under Frank Yallop at previous stops. Lofted ball towards Judd. Instead comes off the head of Donor. Let's look back at this last near goal from Simon Dawkins. He's able to win the crossbar challenge with this strike.
A benefactor of the lucky bounce that comes off. Sometimes better lucky than good. This is both for the 34-year-old Englishman. He's still got the pace. His ability to get down into the byline, drop something back from a distributional standpoint. 33 goals and 10 assists in his career, all competitions prior to his arrival here in Monterey Bay.
Cross from Drac. Headed out for a throw. Dawkins, someone who has found himself top of the soccer world's Premier League experience with Aston Villa.
He's been all over, right? Like on
Yes,
Tottenham payroll,
yes.
Derby County. Like he's been everywhere.
Didn't play for Tottenham, but was on their roster. And while with Tottenham Hotspur, was put on loan to San Jose Earthquakes under Frank Gallup.
They're signing the checks. That's all that matters, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's been a cold reception for Liam Doyle, to say the least. The lovely long ball is popped to the middle and then cleared out of that back third.
They show you so many different looks, LA Galaxy too. You know, on the right-hand side right now, Owen Land comes high. Michael Salazar had started to check back in. Now look at how different it looks. He's coming to the interior. Salazar's on the touchline on the left. Josh Drack just hugging the white chalk. They challenge you in so many different directions. The problem is, and you know, we talked about this around the 10-15 minute mark, is the recovery just isn't the same. Moving forward, they have great ideas, but the genetic makeup defensively is lacking.
Boone, space to work with. Boone leaves it for Donor. Donor chips centrally. Corner kick on the way for Monterey Bay.
Same argument though, Josh Drack is much too high, and as he's coming back here, it's the overlapping run when Boone comes to the inside. Told you were going to see something different out of Monterey Bay with the addition of Chase Boone into the lineup. We saw him off the bench, but this is his first start since July 10th. And watch the ease of play. Looking around, recognize, okay, I don't have to pull the trigger here. I can slow it down myself. Even though you don't get the desired result, tons of bodies and options within the box as this ball's floated in.
Good swinger from Murphy. And a throw another way for Monterey Bay, who continue to come oh so close to finding that opening goal. Donor skies it. And a free kick will send things the other direction. Look at our match referee, Corbin May.
I'm a big fan of the long sleeve for the referees.
Yes, I'm with you.
I'm a long sleeve fan in general, but the referee pulling that out, not only is it bold, that's a fashion statement.
It is.
All that green at one point in time, whew, I'm here for it. What color green is that, by the way?
It's not quite a neon.
No. It would be in one of the fuchsia color palettes, right?
I would say so. I'm with you. But I'm not a color expert.
No, it's Tampa Bay Rowdies-esque.
It is.
The Rowdies have a bit more yellow intertwined into theirs, but you know, that's the trivia question next time out. What color is the green?
Is that?
Right? It's like electric lime. I need one of those. I need one of those.
I'm good with that electric lime description, Devin. USL Championship. If you're listening out there, let's get Devin a referee kit. Get him that electric lime green.
I also need a full verbal breakdown as to what exactly the color is, right? A description. We'll use it on USL Access on Sirius XM-FC this week. Game results, and we can talk about the wide world that is your primary colors.
Yeah, I'd love to hear Mike's thoughts on that as well.
There you go. He's not a green guy.
Not a green guy. Okay. Dunbar rolls on for Drack, left-footed cross. And it comes out the other way. minutes past the half-hour mark. These two teams vying for postseason berths. Still matches to make up that hole that they're currently in, but both teams well within striking distance. Frank Gallup said he's really not putting any extra pressure on his guys. No extra pressure in this situation. Said his side is start of the season trying to make the playoffs. They're right in the hunt. How about Donor? Bit of skill as this back line on skates. If Dawkins could have finished that one off, that would have been beautiful. Harvey. Too much for Cabral.
They're trying to toy with the shape again on the inside to try and find a way if they can push through the movement that has been guys like Sam Gleadle, James Murphy, and Moby Fair. And what they're doing is nothing groundbreaking in the sense. I told you that Carlos Harvey was always going to remain the deep one, but as Adrian Gonzalez drops next to him, much better in the 1-2 punch of someone stepping up into it, getting alongside Remy Cabral. It forces the two of Murphy and Fair and that combination on the inside to drop a little bit deeper. So whether it's an inversion by Owen Lamb, Michael Salazar starting to come in, or just a direct ball into one of the aforementioned, it's a better job in build.
Gleadle finds Donor with space. Donor centrally, Boone, and his return to the starting 11. Still trying to get back into proper form. A miss hit for a normally pretty short-footed player.
Yet still through all that for Los Dos, regardless of their own tweaks internally as they start to move forward. When they drop back, they still can't figure it out. All the transitional defending from outside in, frustration on the backside by Liam Doyle, who gets caught up one-on-one here. And that's the argument. Everyone in front of him. Gonzalez, Harvey, even the initial ball in coming through the middle by Cabral, they're just being bypassed much too easily. And the way that they commit on the outside, which isn't a bad thing, that's their MO. Drac and Lamb come very high as they start to move. Look at the bottom of the screen. When they come up and it's an ill-timed pass, it's much too easy for Monterey Bay to just slide right by the initial line of pressure and push forth and create opportunities going the other way.
Monterey Bay, they've had no shortage of chances tonight. Approaching double-figure shots. And still 11 minutes plus stoppage time to go in this first half. Valesky whistled for the takedown. And a free kick on the way for Los Dos. Do you feel Monterey Bay have done what's necessary to counter what Los Dos have done against them?
There's a couple of things going on. Number one, they certainly haven't made any massive tactical changes to try and counteract it. I would say that the argument within that, though, is there's a lack of efficiency for LA Galaxy 2 right now. That's just, it's not there, right? So you're the benefactor of that. Their problem is what they are creating on the other end. Although most of them are half chances, you still got to hit the target. We've seen 3 shots that have gone basically out of the stadium, right? I joked about the rideshare lot, but they're 100% begging for a taxi at least. Got to put it on frame, challenge the goalkeeper, and they haven't done that.
Just 1 shot on target in their 9 attempts. Including 3 shots inside the 18 as Cabral whips it in a low cross. Did not have much of a chance. There's Cabral once again. Drac tries to dance on Donor. And a throw into the way for Los Dos. In search of a victory for the first time in quite some time. Winless in 6 straight for Galaxy 2.
You've got a similar argument on the other side, though, for Marcelo Sarvis. Little changes that I talked about. They get right here, and then they sort of flip the switch off. Anything that's been served into the box, they've had no one on the end of it. That chance by Preston Judd in the opening 10 minutes, probably the best one, to be fair. Diagonal ball moving away from goal. Still a great run. And the recognition that was there by Remy Cabral on the movement coming forward. And more concerning, though, is the fact that inside 10 minutes to go, this man right here, Kai Green, his level of importance to this team. When he moved into college, he was a striker until his senior year when they moved him defensively onto the back line. And as he's continued forth, no matter his stops, RGV, San Antonio, Oakland last year, Frank Yallop talked about the recruiting process of bringing all these guys in. And, you know, it started with Hugh Roberts, but talking to guys like Nana Atakora in Oakland, one of their assistant coaches last year, he said that everything was about Kai Green, have good conversations with good people, Landon Donovan, Ian Russell, guys that he really trusts. It was about character and their ability, which came second. You know, he wanted good people, and it's kind of a trendy thing to say recently, but the other side of that is they've obviously gotten that right. So you can say it, that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting the results. Monterey Bay is, right? They started slow because they had to play away from home. They didn't have it. It's their first year. You know, inaugural teams coming into the USL Championship notoriously have struggled, and although it wasn't kind to begin with, they've certainly picked up momentum. That man right there is a key cog in it.
Yeah, he's played the full 90 in all 22 of his appearances entering today. You mentioned how he's switched around multitude of positions at Seton Hall back in his college days. But he has been a solidifying piece to this back line all season long. After being acquired from Oakland Roots back in February. And some extracurriculars here. Corbin May has some sorting out to do. Pushing and shoving from both sides. And yeah, let's see the catalyst here, Devin.
All right, we're not making any friends, I get that, but as the play continues over, that little swing through, Michael Zalazar, he's not happy. Simon Dawkins got the extension there. And watch right here, Carlos Harvey, right there. You got to be really careful because that's not a punch. However, the swinging motion of the arm away from the body, even with an open hand, that can get you into real trouble with the referee. It's a conversation with your AR on the far sideline. The good news is he was right there, stood in front of it, watched everything play out. You would have to imagine this is a stern talking to, a card or two, and we move on. Though some referees, given the meeting of the minds in those situations, will have extended conversations and say, I'm done, and send you packing. You hope it's not that the way the game has gone. You'd love to keep them at 11.
Well, decision time for Corbin May. As he tries to get this sorted out. And the pushing and shoving was clearly mutual.
Well, that's a new one, no cards, okay. I've officially seen it all, respect. And here's the thing about it. While I might not agree with it, if you're going to referee the game that way, you better be consistent because you've just set a precedent for the final 50 minutes of this game. 5 and then 45 on the backside of it. Math checks out, by the way.
Certainly something to monitor through the duration of this one. Valesky lifts it to the middle. Comes out to Murphy. Volleys ahead. And Dawkins watches it roll out for a corner kick. Were you a math major back in your day, Devin?
Usually I got those numbers wrong, to be honest. They get mixed up in my head. Both myself and our producer tonight have the same problems. It's okay. It's a team effort, right?
Absolutely.
But again, going back to the referee, if you're going to do that and you're going to say, I'll let you play a little bit, just make sure you remain even the entire match. Because I don't want you to say, okay, that's open there, but then you reel me in over here. That's not fair. I don't know how you're calling the game.
Now, I'd assume next time, if there is a next time with a scuffle like that, cards would probably come out.
You would think. This is really good job, though, by Simon Dawkins as Owen Lamb's coming up, and he's just trying to slide right in there to that space, but he's pinching to the inside. They can't find the ball quick enough, and then once again, there's no recovery outside.
Boone able to keep it in. Donor. Chase Boone. Donor able to stick with it, but it will be a throw-in for Monterey Bay. As they continue to work every inch of that touchline. May changing the call from the AR. Will be a throw-in for Monterey Bay. Final few minutes of this first half, which has seen more chances for Monterey Bay, not necessarily more quality of chances. Both teams at .31 XG. Gonzalez steps over, works past Boone.
And the more concerning stat for me is the fact that Preston Judd has only touched the ball 7 times in this half. He's been non-existent. That's not all his fault. Some of the runs that he's made, they just haven't been able to pick him out. There was a good shot by Remy Cabral just in front of the referee. He's asking for the ball to his feet. It's just so late to come. Questionable decision making that even when the chances are opening up, they're not going through the seams quick enough.
Drac loops it. And over the end line, goal kick on the way. Well, hey, trying to find Preston Judd, keep him in check. That was a focal point for Frank Gallup and company. Understandably so. He scored 4 goals against them this year. And they've done a nice job at that so far in the first half.
I'm just surprised that, look, we're 45 minutes in, and we really haven't seen them attack that much directly into Preston Judd, right? I talked about the 2 outside backs for Monterey Bay, specifically, Grant Robinson and Maury Donor. Donor has come very high. Grant Robinson not as much. They sort of slide back over and create a 3. But there have been times where he goes, and so you put yourself in a 2v1. I'll take the track race for Preston Judd against those 2. Now, maybe not every day of the week, but with his ability to recognize when the ball's going to come into him, the wondrous left foot of Liam Doyle, just like that.
Here is Judd, nearly on cue. Judd denied by Siaha. They must have heard you down there, Devin. And a corner kick on the way for Los Dos.
You can see it, though, right? Because Judd, though it's not into him directly, he peels off so perfectly. Great job by Salazar here. And watch the vision. Liam Doyle just picks his head up. There's a good rotation from the outside. Judd says, okay, that pace is occupied. Now I got to pick it up somewhere else. He peels. Ball comes right through to him. Good strike on goal.
goals, 12 goals in this season, a prolific and clinical finisher, 6th in the league in goals this year. Just 1 minute of added time. Donner and company looking for that late half go-ahead goal. Boone flicks on. Boone wiggles free. And it's taken away from behind by Cabral. And outside of a bit of a scuffle, a fairly uneventful first 45 minutes of action in a matchup of the utmost importance for these two clubs. Two sides vying for playoff spots. It's 0-0 through 45 minutes. Halftime is brought to you by Integris Wealth Management. We'll have first half highlights, stats, and so much more for you. Monterey Bay and LA Galaxy 2 scoreless through 45 minutes. Stick with us for halftime in California. Big battle out west. We'll keep things rolling after this on ESPN+.
All right, so first of all, thank you so much for the reception. This is amazing, really. I'm extremely happy to be here. There's nothing like going somewhere where you're really wanted. And I think the relationship we've built with Mr. Mandel and with Ray Reid over the last couple of months has really been a great thing for me. It's been a learning experience for me, and I've had a chance to learn about you, about the club, about who we are as a club and where we want to go as a club.
Well, one of the most prominent names in American soccer, Tab Ramos, has made his way to USL Championship side Hartford Athletic. Devin, this is a big get with a coach with a proven track record of success.
Massive on a multitude of levels. So you start with his playing experience, right? Started in the ACC with NC State, United States men's national team, La Liga, of course, in MLS, where he finished off on loan with Tigres and Liga MX. But for me, as you continue to move forward, it's the experience overall for decades, the 80s, the 90s, World Cups, Olympics. As he moved forward as a coach, he's primarily known for his time as the head coach of the U20s, where he's had a massive part and hand in the development of the biggest names in United States soccer right now. Guys like Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, the list goes on and on and on. Josh Sargent, who's playing really well right now. And as he goes to Hartford Athletic, there's now a commitment right there from Bruce Mendel that we're going to go get a great coach, and we're going to invest not just within people and the squad, but financially. It's something that Hartford Athletic has really been lacking. The commitment from that owner starts right here with Tab Ramos in the hopes that next year they can be a force to be reckoned with in the Eastern Conference.
And that not the only coaching move this week. Juan Guerra brought in to Phoenix Rising on August 22nd, somebody with experience in USL Championship as a player and as a coach.
This has slowly been coming, and maybe his resume isn't exactly as distinguished as it is as Tab Ramos, in just the sense of, okay, he's not a United States men's national team legend, but he's a legend within his own right, within Venezuela and the men's national team. Full international, approaching double digits. You talked about his experience here within the league. You start with the Rowdies, Indy 11, the Cosmos. Now, only some of that was within the championship, but from a coaching standpoint, under Martin Rennie in the Eastern Conference with Indy 11. He goes to the big bad wolf that is Phoenix Rising as an assistant just for 1 year last year. As he's taken over the Roots this year, it's hard because he steps away. They're only 4 points off the playoff race, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Outside of this job at Phoenix Rising, you'd be hard-pressed to find another opportunity in the USL Championship, maybe Lou City in the Eastern Conference, that someone covets and wants more. Juan Guerra gets that opportunity. The problem is they've got a rough start. They're on the road at El Paso Locomotive. They're down 2-0. Slow start for the new manager. It's going to take a lot of work to get them back on track.
Some major coaching hires across the league at the break. Monterey Bay and LA Galaxy 2 scoreless, 0-0. We'll have highlight stats and more after this. Don't go anywhere. This is USL Championship Live on ESPN+.
I'm on that real team. I'm on that real team.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Halftime is brought to you by Integris Wealth Management. 0-0 the score. A couple of teams needing a win as they try to keep pace in the playoff discussion. And let's take a look around the league. Some major news and notes. And We just hit on the coaching changes, a couple of big additions to the league. That in addition to Marcelo Sarvas in this match being brought on as the head man yesterday. Sacramento Republic, their cup set run continues, looking to cap it off with a trophy against Orlando City SC of MLS on September 7th. And we've talked all night about the playoff picture. A lot of teams still in it. In fact, all but one team still with a chance, even if an ever so slight chance, to raise that trophy in November. So things will be dramatic down the stretch. And it all starts with these matches upcoming. We have one tomorrow, and then you look at the end of August. We're at that point of the season where every match is so critical in terms of playoff positioning, in terms of getting yourself over that playoff line. And if you're below the line, at least trying to stay in pace with some of these teams that are currently above the playoff line. So some big fixtures, and you can see all of them live on ESPN+. We'll have match first half highlights and stats for you after this, so stick with us. 0-0 the score at the break. Halftime brought to you by Integris Wealth Management, live on ESPN+.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpey's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Ticket information, head to MontereyBayFC.com.
0-0 the score at the break. Halftime brought to you by Integris Wealth Management. And there wasn't a whole lot of action in the first half, but Gavin will take a look back at the first 45 minutes of this one.
That's being kind with the breakdown for these two teams. Look, there was a natural overload for Monterey Bay on the right-hand side, but all you were concerned about coming in was, first off, stopping Preston Judd. That was the most important thing, and inside 5 minutes, they almost weren't able to do that. It's a good ball in transition as he cuts it back, gets it onto the unfavored left foot. Good job moving him away from that. The problem was you brought him closer in proximity to the field. Now this movement right here, I was extremely impressed with, because Remy Cabral doesn't win the 50-50 challenge, but he doesn't turn around and stop. Instead, he recognizes the fact that he's got support behind him, continues his run. Great job by Preston Judd on the diagonal coming back across. They almost get their opening goal. Half chances rang true and aplenty for Monterey Bay in the first half. This is one of the better ones. Simon Dawkins from distance, and that rings the woodwork. They had 3 or 4 other shots that sailed into the parking lot and still haven't landed. And then inside 10 minutes to go, yeah, let's turn up the notch a little bit. He may be 34 years of age, but he's going to teach the youngsters something. Michael Salazar getting involved. Carlos Harvey came back over. Referee said, no, we're all still going to be friends. No cards. Just a stern talking to. Preston Judd just before halftime said, be more direct in nature. Find your striker. Only 7 touches. He gets his 8th, but it's a great save by Anthony Siaha just before we head into the dressing room at halftime.
Both teams back out on the pitch. Just about set to get the second half started between these two sides vying for postseason positioning. You can see the scarves are out, the jackets are out. It's 58 degrees in Seaside, California. We're starting to get to fall. Makes sense.
Now you know why the referee's in long sleeves.
Yes, which we still don't have a final determination of the color, I don't think. Or do we? Electric lime green, I'm cool with that, if you're cool with that.
We could put a poll up on Twitter and see what they all say.
Sounds good. These supporters have made this a fun atmosphere tonight at Cardinale Stadium. A nice crowd on hands. And they're ready for a fun second half. And you have to give so much credit to this club. California obviously is such a soccer crazy state to begin with. But to come in year one and build a successful roster like this and build a successful supporter base like this is nothing short of very impressive. Waiting the whistle from Corbin May, Babacar Jallo, Salvador Reyes, our assistant referees. Michael Zapata, our fourth official. Los Dos entered today just a point back of the playoff line with the game in hand. Monterey Bay entered today in 11th place of the West, but only 5 points back of El Paso in 7th. And off we go in the for the second half of action. 45 minutes left to play between these sides. Third and final meeting of the year. First two were taken in Southern California by Los Dos. 3-1 and 3-2 respectively. John Gross alongside Devin Kerr. On behalf of our entire crew, so happy that you're making us a part of your Saturday evening. Elevated ball. Did Judd stay onside? Yes, he did. And it's Siaha to the rescue. And now Siaha and Judd exchange some pleasantries. Valesky not able to really settle it. Well, Devin, we saw the little brouhaha in the first half. It seems like the tension might be carrying over to the second half as well. Dawkins. Murphy. Back heel finds Robinson, and Robinson was offside.
This is how you get yourself invited to Christmas dinner. I don't know how he's onside, by the way. Number one. Number two, Judd follows through. Siaha says hello. There are a lot of boys that I'm not messing with within this league. Those two are right at the top of the list. Preston Judd's not backing down in anybody. I don't care if you weigh 20 pounds, and Anthony Siaha does not. That stands 6'6". I'm thinking twice about toeing the line with that.
Yeah, that's 6'3" versus 6'6".
It's a big difference. Sounds like celebrity deathmatch within the USL Championship.
Yeah, I'd have to take Siaha on that matchup.
Wow, the agility from Preston Judd, you know, maneuverability, popping in and out. Maybe more bang for your buck in terms of punch, but the reach definitely going to be with Siaha.
Absolutely.
Hit it.
Cabral has some space and hits it off to the right. And Devin, it's really been for both teams, just struggling to get that good contact with these shots.
I've never seen anything like it. To be clear, I mean, the range is quite extended from where you'd like, but still, some of these have been inside the box, namely Monterey Bay in the first half. Got to do better. I'm not asking you to score a worldie, but whether it's Eric Lopez or Anthony Siaha, just give the goalkeeper something to think about.
Neither keeper has been tested all too much. They combined 3 shots on target tonight, all of which have, of course, been saved. I'll be fair. Murphy hooks up with Dawkins, tiptoes the end line. Dawkins dances. Dawkins probing for options. Now a cross comes in from the opposite side. To Dawkins trying to scissor it goalward. He'll keep it in. And now bounces off of his right foot for a goal kick. Cabral hustles after it, and it's Green, able to jar it out of that back third. Frank Gallup, the inaugural head coach, he has experience at the MLS level, including as the head man for LA Galaxy, 06-07.
They're big fans of Liam Doyle, huh?
I was going to say, the boos have been constant. Center back from Isle of Man has been hearing it all night. This could be something special. Instead, it's Lopez who races off his line. Cabral dispossessed. Donor pushing the issue now. Monterey Bay looking for that breakthrough. Guido turns off for Dawkins. Robinson now tees up a service. Murphy. Dawkins steps over, low cross from Dawkins. Knocked out by Neal for a corner kick.
Valesky's got to touch this ball. This is a fantastic ball slipped through by James Murphy. Timed to pure perfection by Valesky, but watch him pull out of this. Here's the footsteps. That's getting nervous right there. If you're smart as a striker, Eric Lopez is big, but you get a touch on that. Stick your foot out, because one of two things is going to happen. You're going to go around the goalkeeper and be in for the opening goal of the night and the 1-0 lead, or you could see the arms of Eric Lopez. He was real close to full extension and taking him down.
Corner in from Murphy. Headed her right back. And it's a throw in for Los Dos. Dangerous ball. Lopez has to hustle up to grab it. Harvey ahead for Drac with a head of steam.
What's interesting to me about the midfield play, especially when they bring Owen Lamb into the mix off the back line, is earlier this year, And I want to be clear, this has nothing to do with the recent appointment of Marcelo Sarvas with the departure of Johan DeMay to LA Galaxy, an assistant coach of the first team. They would really let him operate as like an out-and-out 6. You know, drop underneath, and that allows you to bring more bodies forward, but more importantly, gives you more options on the inside. If you watch Owen Lamb, he's going to be on the left side of your screen, is moving up here. When he starts to float back into the middle, he really stops like 20%, 30% of the way there, and they don't allow him to progress any further. Now, some of that has to do with the fact that Jalen Neal then has to provide coverage for Simon Dawkins. That's a one-on-one that you're not necessarily looking for. But also, it's just being comfortable enough within your own skin, which they're not. If you watch the balls, it's a touch, they turn around. Some of their first touches aren't good enough. Some of the balls that are being sprayed through aren't good enough. That's certainly good.
Here is the aforementioned Lamb. Looking for some space. Skips it into the arms of Siaha.
So as he comes to the inside, Michael Salazar is doing the same thing. He's trying to pump himself up, and you know, the relationship that looked decent 10 minutes in has really fallen by the wayside. It's moving in the opposite direction. They don't have enough of a presence on the right. The left and Cameron Dunbar, full extension 1v1. You need to see more of that. You also need to see more of just the ball at his feet in general. Technically, these guys are too talented not to be on the ball more or in a more dominating fashion than what we're seeing.
Salazar unfazed by Grant Robinson. Robinson quickly in the toss. Fair skies it wide. Donor keeps it in play. Boone. Murphy tries to angle around Harvey unsuccessfully, and now a whistle. And will it be a booking?
It's got to be. You have to set the tone right now. This is off the ball. It's away from the play. The arms by Carlos Harvey. He had done all the hard work. It was very impressive, actually. But the emotion from the Panamanian getting the best of him. As he works back in here, great job stepping right in front of James Murphy, but continue the follow through. You got to get out of your own head. That's one of those ones you want back, especially if Monterey Bay come out on the positive end. You got to be smarter.
James Murphy stands over it in the free kick. The foul. We did not see a yellow card come out from Corbin May, who's been letting him play tonight. Fair. Dawkins. Fair. Grant Robinson. Surface from Boone. Headed out of there. And one right back by the home side. Maury Donor turns on the Jets. And wins his side of corner. A fourth quarter of the night on the way for Monterey Bay. On a relatively chilly evening, to the winter jackets out, the hats and scarves, mid to high 50s in Seaside, California. Gallup looks on. Nil-nil to score as we make our way through the second half. Cabral, a lot of green to work with. Options on both sides. He feeds Salazar. Salazar back to Cabral.
We got to figure out how this doesn't end up on frame, but watch the step on the tail end of this thing by Hugh Roberts. Plenty of praise for Kai Green in the first half, but how about the captain? This is veteran leadership. Look at him. This is perfect positioning. You young kids at home. Plants his feet, hips are square, gives you the ability as you're facing the play and you've already come to a restricted position towards the goal. You can step into the ball in front of you. You can step to your right and get up in square on the face of the attacker. Chooses the latter and chooses wisely.
Just past the hour mark. Yet to see that breakthrough.
Substitution, number 38 for 73.
And we will see our first substitution of the night. Substitution is brought to you by the Prep Club Society. It's Axel Picasso, second-year man for Los Dos out of Mexico City, Mexico, who heads on for Michael Salazar.
Frustration for sure by Michael Salazar. He hasn't been overly influenced within the game in general, and he's faded here in the second half. An injection of a bit more youth. The Austin, Texas native who's had quite the little flurry within professional ranks so far. The artist formerly known as Bethlehem Steel, now Philadelphia Union 2. You can combine them both together. To the west coast of the United States. He's a player who just a couple of seasons ago, though, Jim Curtin and the entire Union organization felt pretty highly about. Took him to preseason with him down in Clearwater.
Here is Picasso looking to make an impact. Lost his footing. And it has just been a lot of very much missed opportunities. Mainly on this side of the pitch, Devin.
I mean, I'll give him credit for the fact that he slips, but yeah, I'm losing words. I apologize. But not often that happens, right?
Right.
People will pay good money for it, though.
Robinson is fouled. As Picasso came on at the 81st minute against Charleston Battery in that 1-1 draw. At the most recent in a string of winless performances by Los Dos. Winless in 6 straight for Galaxy 2. Roberts knocks it ahead. Murphy gets it back from Dawkins. Murphy Boone moves it back in the back heel. Murphy taps it ahead. A lot of build up here. Can they find a breakthrough as Boone's cross is headed out for a throw by Liam Doyle. Evidently unfazed by the barrage of boos that he's received tonight. Left out by Lamb.
That's what you think. I promise you as a player, you figure out a way to, compartmentalize for sure. And Liam Doyle is a seasoned professional at the highest level. But understand that that exists somewhere within the catacombs of your mind.
Well, he's been booed by a packed house tonight as Boone lets it rip low, and Lopez meets him. Boone tries to angle his way through once again, can't do so. And Cabral tripped up just beyond the midline.
This is shades of what we saw in the opening 10, 12 games of the season from Chase Boone. Look at the quick feet. You never, as a defender, want to allow anybody to cut back to the inside. The problem is you get yourself into a bad spot when you're up against the end line like that. You square up with someone. You don't want them on your left shoulder because then they're coming to the near post and the ball's coming square back across. So your natural tendency is, okay, well, I have to shift here a little bit, but then you're pushing them back to the inside. That can be just as threatening. You've got to find a way to make sure that you eliminate both possibilities. Sounds like a conundrum, but it's not. It's about momentum, the way that you close your body off, and the ability to just pin them up against the end of the field.
Boone was able to find a little bit of breathing room on that. Luckily for Los Dos, was turned away by Lopez. Is this the moment? It is not, although a little bit closer to finding the target. Well-hit ball by Cameron Dunbar, who has made 18 appearances for LA Galaxy first team since signing in 2020. Picasso. Options on both sides. Threads it right for Lamb. Picasso. Hard challenge, and now a card comes out. It is a yellow. It is Carlos Harvey. Well, remember, Devin, it was almost yellow card earlier in the second half.
Well, some of this is going to be the challenge itself, because that right there could be deserving of a card. To be fair, just loses his footing on the end of it, but with the follow through, came over to Grant Robinson, tried to make amends. Robinson didn't want to hear any of it. Also the persistent infringement, because that could have been issued 20 minutes into the game, into the first half. He knew it.
a night that has proven to be very physical. That, the first booking of the match for either side. Understandably so, Robinson will take some time to stretch things out. Drac lost his footing, nearly dangerous misplay at the back.
There's a couple of times tonight where they've gotten a bit more cute than you would have liked them to. Put them in some bad spots.
Robinson. His cross cut off inside the 6. It will be another Monterey Bay corner.
They just pin him in here. Drac on the outside back spot. You've got to be much cleaner with your intentions and your ideas moving forward. You can't be that lucrative from that spot. Just creates too much danger.
Corner kick number 5 for the home side. Headed down and cleared out by Preston Judd, who has been silenced in this second half. Boone. Dawkins. And it did take a deflection. And check that, it did not. Corbin May initially signaled corner kick. It will be a goal kick.
Los Angeles substitution, number 46 for number 25. And number 34 for number 27.
Couple of changes, these substitutions brought to you by the Prep Club Society. Carlos Harvey just minutes removed from picking up that yellow. He comes out. And LA Galaxy Academy product, Taylor Davila, enters in his place. And how about this? Tsubasa Endo, coming off of a 6-month deal with Australian side Melbourne City. Somebody with a slew of MLS experience heads on for Los Dos.
He was one of the heir apparents under Greg Fanny during his time with Toronto. Product of the Maryland Terrapins and Sasha Surovsky. Drafted 9th overall back in 2016 and kind of popped back and forth early on, but became a mainstay back in the 2019 season. That saw them finish 4th in MLS.
66 appearances north of the border. Scored 7 goals in his MLS tenure with Toronto FC. Corner kick deflects out to Boone. And now a chance to counter. Judd, who has 4 goals this year in 2 matches against Monterey Bay, uses that physical frame, angles his way into some space. Los Dos, 1-0. Endo in the 74th off a magical run from Preston Judd.
We ask you to play into him and be more direct. Instead, he comes deeper, picks up the ball. He's seen none of it here in the second half. There's a will and a way about Preston Judd that he is going to find a way to push his team to victory. Has not been pretty, has not been kind. The woodwork's been involved for either team. But as he pushes forward here, the recent acquisition in Tsubasa Endo on the beautiful run by Preston Judd give them the lead just outside 15 to go.
How about that? Just moments after entering, Endo served a ball on a platter, but it was all Preston Judd who set it up. His 4th assist of the season. And Endo comes on, and Endo delivers. $15 and change to go. And it's the visitors looking for the clean sweep of Monterey Bay this season.
It's a massive swing, too, the way the results are going around the league tonight. Good news for Phoenix Rising is they've pulled back one. The bad news is El Paso Locomotive had already dropped 3 on them. So when you're chasing down the team that's standing right in front of you, at least 2 of them, still just 1 point back. Got to maintain pace. Las Vegas, good news here for them is going to close a little ground on them as well. Down 3-0. There's RGV at home. Who would have thought that that was going to be the result?
All those matches of the utmost importance to these two sides. Just a few spots below the playoff line. Monterey Bay in search of its first point of the season after conceding the opening goal. They are 0-10 this year. On the flip side, Los Dos at 3-0-2. A free kick has been awarded. Cross booted out of there by Doyle. And now Judd's been whistled for the foul. And here comes the change. The first substitution for Monterey Bay tonight. It's brought to you by the Prep Club Society. It's Adrian Rebelar who heads on for Sam Gleadle. Gleadle, who has now started 4 straight, comes off. Rebelar has 4 goals and an assist this year. He has started the lion's share of his appearances. The rookie, a former standout at Cal State Monterey Bay, enters hoping to be the spark plug.
Second ball. They got to start figuring out a way to win some of these balls that are popping back through here. That was very well done in the first half. Not the same here in the second 45 minutes. More of the combination play between the midfield players. James Murphy's been off as well. He's given a couple of balls away in that fashion.
Picasso surges into some space. Makes a deflection to Cabral. Lamb able to get his cross in. Comes off the foot of Roberts.
There's a nice level of patience right now within Los Dos. They're not rushing anything. First half, super sloppy moving forward. This was the area that they would work themselves into and then just gift the ball back to Monterey Bay. That's not the case anymore. Drag coming from far side of the field all the way over, and he doesn't release it. Remember I talked to you the start of the second half how Owen Lamb was coming to the inside a little bit, and then they kind of would just stop the run. As you start to switch things back over, you make substitutions, everybody's got to get a bit familiar with the surroundings outside of their comfort zone, because that's what it's going to take in situations like this, where Monterey Bay has done, for a large portion of this game, a really good job of tracking you defensively with the zonal marks. You got to go beat someone. And as you step through, don't be afraid to continue on the run. They've got proper coverage. Guys are willing to track back and work with you.
Inside the final 10 minutes. Elevated ball towards Judd. Down he goes. No whistle. Dawkins. More feedback from Valesky. And now we might see a card, we will. Cabral continuously standing over the ball in that situation. And he's been booked.
Can you blame him? Trying to kill the game off? A bit of gamesmanship. Just pulls on the jersey, stands in front. The how do you do?
Yellow card for Cabral, and with Liga experience in his native France. And another whistle. This time it's Robinson who's fouled. And how about this? Again, players have to be separated. Cabral massages that left leg.
They're feeling like this is a bit of theatrics and they want him off. The difference is he did go to ground and has been cramping. On the far side of the field was experiencing very similar issues just a couple of moments ago, challenge or not. There's a little limp. You have to imagine that his night's got to be done, absolutely.
There it is. So it's Dante Campbell, the Canadian who did not play against Charleston Battery. He enters and replaces Cabral. Substitution brought to you by the Prep Club Society. 24th appearance of the season for Campbell. Boone unable to corral it along the end line. Monterey Bay starting to run out of time. Devin, what would you like to see from them in this final 7+ minutes as they try to find this equalizer?
It was very distinct in the first half that their ideas, they were sort of luring you in certain areas, right? So they would bring you down into the middle and then quickly play through or around you. That's not the case anymore. If you're going to change your game plan, make sure that you're as direct as possible coming down in. And even with the change that you're going to get with Arun Basulovic coming in, you know, you have to make sure that that vision still remains the same, that you find a way to be quick-witted. They're going to remove Chase Boone. Speed's still going to be there. He's good on the ball as well. Transitionally, it's a little bit different. I'd like to see them stretch a little bit more up top, especially because as Los Dos have had the brunt of the possession, their line is higher. So you've compressed yourself, Monterey Bay, into really a 40 or 50-yard gap that you've got to now play out of. That happens two ways. Quick touches, moving through the ranks accordingly, or you play over and then everybody else starts to move with you. They're doing neither.
Well, let's see if they can change that in this final 5 minutes plus stoppage time. We saw the insertion of Arun Basulovic, who did not play the last 4 matches. He replaces Chase Boone, his first time to the starting 11 after missing 6 matches with a calf injury. Numbers inside the box, a low skipping cross. Dangerously ricochets back towards Lopez. And he is in no rush to come to his feet. Dawkins somehow kept it in play. And now Dawkins whistles. Lamb back on his feet. It was a 74th minute goal by Tsubasa Endo. Off a beautiful run and assist from Preston Judd, the difference maker this far. The third and final meeting between these two clubs. Gonzalez shaken up. Ball takes a fortuitous deflection, came to the foot of Endo, but couldn't do much with it.
Everybody's got to step up here. You reset your own lines. Now you've moved into enemy territory. You got to move in unison together.
Dawkins. Low cross. Again, it's the sure-footed Doyle who works it out of there. It's been so consistent tonight. Doyle on his 4th USL Championship club, San Antonio, Memphis, Nashville, now Los Dos. Sulovic, Donor. These crosses just are not finding their way through.
And the other ideas behind it is They're just lacking a little bit. Grant Robinson made a great move on the back post run. Nobody saw him, though.
There's the aforementioned Robinson. Vasilovic. Dawkins trying to rip it. Murphy to Robinson. Donor, Dawkins. 3 minutes of added time, and it will be another corner kick for Monterey Bay.
3-minute stoppage.
And once more, it's one that isn't fruitful as Judd paces the other way. This looks familiar as Judd rolls it through. Picasso looking for the dagger! 2-0, Lostos, it's a brace! Tsubasa Endo, the finishing touches on a critical three-point performance.
As you start to move forward, though, one of the issues you run into is all the space that's left in behind, and the coverage just isn't there. Preston Judd, one of the baddest men in the business. That's just hard work and perseverance coming off a corner. Watch him pick it up as he moves the other direction, drags runners with him. You've got fresh legs and Axel Picasso. Stick it down in the corner. You're a winner no matter what. Step on the ball, kill the game off. Instead, he's got a trailing run by Tsubasa Endo on the back post. Reinvigorated this game, this team, possibly his career. Second on the night, second for Lostos, and most assuredly 3 points.
On a night that saw a multitude of missed chances. Frankly, just missed balls. It was the seasoned veteran, Tsubasa Endo, who comes on as a substitute and tucks in not one, but 2 goals.
Think about it, though, because it would have been really easy for judges to continue the run, get knocked off the ball, or to not have the overlapping run from Axel Picasso. Instead, that's truly a team goal, and Endo's going to get the recognition for sure. But it's one little movement that has to be off, which turns everything upside down on its head in that situation. Great job by Lostos. Perfect execution coming the other way.
Preston Judd, like you said, he's had his hand in both goals tonight. Guy who has yet to make his MLS debut, but you figure if he keeps playing like this, that debut probably isn't all too far off. He has been on the bench twice for LA Galaxy. Valesky, a foot save from Lopez. Donor, his cross comes off the head of who else but Doyle. Picasso tripped up. Lostos, 2-0. LA Galaxy 2 come on the road. They needed 3 points. They get 3 points. And 2 second-half goals by a substitute. Tsubasa Endo put the finishing touches on this one. We'll have full-time highlights and stats after this, so stick with us. The visitors victorious. LA Galaxy 2. I mean, both these teams entering tonight needed a victory, and there could only be one winner. LA Galaxy 2 pick up the 3 points courtesy of that man. Tsubasa Endo, a second-half substitute, enters and makes an impact. Devin, the match that was.
The good news is for Los Dos is they kept pace with El Paso Locomotive, who are throttling Phoenix Rising 3-1. The bad news is took them a decent amount of time to get going on the attacking end. In the first half, couple of chances. Nothing really, as all of it was launched by the wayside, literally up over the top of the goal. Second half, different story. Much more efficient in their ways. They were more expansive, spread the midfield out, better in overlapping runs down into the channel. They're rewarded with their first goal by the substitute, Tsubasa Endo. Preston Judd, 74th minute. Let's run it back. 90+1 off the corner. Monterey Bay trying to find an equalizer. Instead, the bad man again, Preston Judd. Picasso, stop me if you've heard this, down into the corner before. Comes back across, Tsubasa Endo. Tell you what, 16 minutes and change, 2 goals. That's not too bad for your debut for LA Galaxy 2.
Efficiency, that's what I call that. You take a look at the full-time match stats. Yeah, Monterey Bay, the cushion in terms of shots overall, but just could not deliver that quality blow on frame as the visitors come on the road and secure 3 points. Now 36 points on the season as they keep pace just below that playoff line. Well, fun second half, my friends. We appreciate all of you for joining us tonight. Los Dos come on the road. For our entire crew, my broadcast partner, Devin Kerr, I'm John Gross, saying so long. LA Galaxy 2, a 2-0 victory over Monterey Bay FC. This has been USL Championship, live on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.